There's something rare and beautiful about two people who allow themselves to be truly seen by each other. In a world that often celebrates emotional toughness, silence, and keeping walls up, vulnerability is often mistaken as weakness. But in romantic relationships, vulnerability is actually one of the most powerful tools for connection, trust, and long-term emotional intimacy. It is the heartbeat of genuine love, the thing that turns surface-level attraction into something deep, meaningful, and lasting. When we talk about vulnerability, we're not just talking about opening up once or twice, or admitting you're wrong in an argument. We're talking about the courage it takes to let another person see your true self, your fears, insecurities, dreams, flaws, and all. That level of openness invites your partner to do the same, and when both people step into that space of emotional honesty, something extraordinary happens. You stop performing, you stop hiding, and you start relating to each other from a place of truth. Many people struggle with being vulnerable in relationships because they fear rejection, judgment, or appearing too much. They've learned to wear emotional armor, maybe because of past pain, betrayal, or conditioning that taught them to be tough to survive. But that armor, while protective, also blocks love from fully entering. You can't selectively shut off emotions. You can't numb fear and pain without also numbing joy, connection, and love. So when you're not vulnerable, you're not just protecting yourself from getting hurt, you're also robbing yourself of the chance to be deeply loved. True love requires risk. It asks you to stand emotionally naked in front of another person, trusting that they will hold your truth with care. It means saying, "This is who I am. I know I'm not perfect, but I hope you'll accept me anyway." Vulnerability is saying, "I love you first," without a guarantee that you'll hear it back. It's admitting, "I'm scared I'll lose you," even when pride would rather stay silent. It's expressing your emotional needs instead of assuming your partner should just guess. It's sharing your past, your wounds, and your dreams, without editing them to be more acceptable. When partners allow each other to be vulnerable, it becomes a safe space where both people can grow. It's in this space that empathy flourishes. When someone you love is vulnerable with you, when they cry in your arms or confess a long-buried fear, it triggers compassion instead of judgment. You no longer see them as just your partner. You see them as a human being trying to navigate the messiness of life. That shared human experience deepens love in a way nothing else can. Vulnerability also builds trust. When someone consistently shows you their authentic self and you do the same, the relationship begins to feel like a home, not a battlefield. You stop playing games, hiding truths, or pretending to be someone you're not. There's no need for manipulation, emotional distance, or silent treatments. Instead, you talk, you listen, you hold each other through the difficult conversations, and even when things get uncomfortable, you both know you're on the same team. But vulnerability isn't just about emotional confession. It's also about the little moments. It's letting your partner see you when you're not your best, when you're stressed, anxious, or unsure of yourself. It's laughing together when you mess up. It's admitting you don't have all the answers. It's asking for reassurance when you need it. It's choosing to be soft in a world that tells you to harden. One of the greatest misunderstandings in relationships is thinking that strength means always being in control, always knowing what to say, and never showing weakness. But the opposite is true. Real strength is being open. Real strength is saying, "I'm not okay," or "I need help," or "I feel insecure right now." That takes courage. That takes emotional maturity. And it allows your partner to be there for you in a way that's meaningful and real. Many people crave emotional closeness, but are unwilling to be the first to open up. They want deep connection but keep walls up out of fear. They think if they protect themselves, they won't get hurt. But the irony is that by keeping those walls up, they often end up feeling lonely, even in a relationship. Vulnerability is the bridge between loneliness and true connection. It's the doorway through which intimacy walks in. When you're vulnerable with your partner, you give them a roadmap to love you better. You let them see the real you, not the curated version, not the highlight reel, but the messy, human, beautiful reality of who you are. That's where love takes root. Not in perfection, but in the courage to be imperfect together. And here's the beautiful thing about vulnerability. When it's met with love, it creates more safety, more trust, and more desire to open up. It becomes a cycle that deepens the bond over time. You start having more honest conversations. You argue less about surface-level issues because you're addressing the emotional truths underneath. You stop fearing that being too much will push them away because they've already seen the real you. And they stayed. That kind of connection doesn't happen overnight. It requires emotional work, patience, and a shared commitment to create a safe space for each other. It requires listening without interrupting, validating without fixing, and supporting without judging. It requires creating an environment where both people feel seen, heard, and valued, even in their most vulnerable moments. Of course, not everyone will know how to handle your vulnerability. That's a painful truth. Some people, out of their own emotional immaturity, may respond with criticism, defensiveness, or withdrawal. But that doesn't mean you should stop being open. It means you should choose your emotional audience wisely. The right person won't punish you for being vulnerable. They'll cherish it. They'll honor your openness with their own. And when that happens, love becomes a sacred space. In a healthy romantic relationship, vulnerability is mutual. It's not one person always opening up while the other stays emotionally distant. It's a shared dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Sometimes your partner is the strong one holding you through your pain, and other times, you're the one holding them through theirs. That balance is what builds a resilient love that can weather storms. Being vulnerable doesn't mean oversharing or being emotionally chaotic. It means being honest about how you feel, what you need, and where you're coming from. It means being self-aware and expressing yourself in a way that invites connection, not control. It's about emotional clarity, not emotional dumping. It's also about accountability. Vulnerability includes admitting when you're wrong, apologizing with sincerity, and taking ownership of your part in conflict. That level of emotional transparency creates room for healing, forgiveness, and growth. It transforms arguments from destructive battles into opportunities for understanding. The power of vulnerability in romantic relationships is not a theory, it's a lived experience. It's in the quiet moments after an argument when one person reaches out and says, "I hate fighting with you and I miss us." It's in the late-night talks where you confess your fears about the future and your partner doesn't try to fix them. They just hold your hand and stay with you. It's in the willingness to cry in front of them, to ask them to stay, to tell them you love them even when you feel uncertain. These are the moments that make love real. Not the highlight reels, not the Instagram captions, not the grand romantic gestures, but the raw, unfiltered, deeply human moments where two people choose each other again and again, with all their flaws and fears. So if you're in a relationship, ask yourself, how open am I really being? Am I letting my partner see the real me? Am I creating space for them to be vulnerable too? Am I choosing courage over comfort? These questions matter, because love isn't built in the easy moments. It's built in the hard, honest ones. And if you're single or healing from past relationships, let this be a reminder that vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. It's your superpower. The fact that you can feel deeply, love boldly, and speak truthfully is not a flaw. It's your gift. The right person will recognize that. They won't run from your openness. They'll run toward it. Remember this. Vulnerability is not about being perfect. It's about being real. And being real is the most powerful thing you can be in love. So don't be afraid to open your heart. Don't be afraid to say what you feel. Don't be afraid to show your scars. The right heart will not only accept you, they'll cherish you more because of it. Love doesn't thrive behind walls. It grows in the light of honesty, tenderness, and trust. In the end, vulnerability is what turns a relationship into a sanctuary, a place where you can rest, grow, and be fully known. And there is nothing more beautiful, more empowering, or more transformative than that.